Welcome back, Wolfpack. Brolis here, and this is how to use Swalot. So we're going to look at Swalot's typing because my stat animation got all messed up, so pure poison type. Swalot isn't too bad off that we have a weakness to ground and psychic, and that's it. Unfortunately, Earthquake is really common, and as a slower, bulkier Pokemon, it can be hard to set up sometimes against those ground and psychic types, but overall, not the worst to worry about. With the resistances, it's just resistant to fighting, poison, bug, grass, and fairy, so you can get a lot of really good switch-ins and setup potential, and it's just nice to have a lot of neutrals and not a lot of weaknesses. Also, a cool thing to note about pure poison type Pokemon that I haven't noted before is that if you're using Toxic, it will never miss. So all those evasion, minimized chances, nah, they're going to be able to get Toxic, as well as any Pokemon using Fly or Dig and Dive, any semi-invulnerable Pokemon as well. So Poison is really nice to use for these kinds of setup. Now what we're going to do is just hop into Pokemon Showdown and take a quick look at the stats. So Swalot has 100 base hit points. Awesome. And 83 on defense and special defense, so this is going to be a rather tanky Pokemon. Not much on the speed or offenses, so it's just going to be kind of a stallish, toxic-y, burn, outweight Pokemon, yeah, whatever. But it's going to be a pretty good wall, and it works out really well. Now also what makes Swalot awesome is Stockpile. Favorite move, boost defense and special defense by 1. You can use it 3 times, but by then you're too tanky to knock out. So Swalot is going to be, it's also like a premier stockpile Pokemon, that it uses stockpile in the anime. When you look at it, it just kind of, it's one of those main stockpilers, and I think it's really cool. Unfortunately, it doesn't see a lot of play, and we'll kind of talk about the weaknesses that Swalot has, but pretty much your core is going to be going 236 EVs and hit points. That way you have a number that's evenly divisible by 16. So you're getting full leftovers heal when you can. You also want to invest higher into that defense. Well, that's my personal thought, because you're going to see a lot of earthquakes, you're going to see some ground moves, and there's just more physical Pokemon, so it's good to have that little bit of edge against them. And then we also have special defense investment. That way, as you're stockpiling, you're getting insane defenses across the board, and you're going to be very tough to knock out, while getting a lot of health back from leftovers. Going to flash up the level 50 stats real quick, and now let's talk about the many ways that you can make Stockpile Swalot work. So first off, Stockpile, Toxic, Infestation, and Rest. You can also go with the Chesto Resto instead of the leftovers, and it's pretty much just going to be the same EV spread. So that's like, if the EV spread isn't different, it's going to be that. For this, you're just going to want any kind of defensive nature, bold or impish works, and you're going to be really tanky. The idea is you set up 1 or 2 stockpiles, you go into the rest, you wake up immediately, get some more stockpiles, set off a Toxic or Infestation, rest again, and you're really going to be able to do that rather successfully and not be threatened by too many things. Once you have max stockpiles, you really just Toxic and Infestation away anything, and you can eventually win. I believe that the way that Toxic and Infestation combos, your opponent only has 4 turns, and they can't switch out because of Infestation, so they're really locked down. Naturally, Toxic is going to be weak against Steel and other Poison-type Pokemon, since Poison-type Pokemon can't be poisoned. But overall, you know, if they're not, even if they are Steel, you can infest them even if they are poisoned. So you can do a little bit of damage, and at least at the end of the turn, they might be taking more than you did, and you have sustain on the rest. With the other things that you can do, I was thinking about Power Punch, Gunk Shot. Now, unfortunately, Aegislash just purely walls you out on this, but other than that, Power Punch is going to, you know, you set up your stockpiles, you go into your rest mechanic, and then you start Power Punching. 2 or 3 Power Punches, and Gunk Shot is going to hurt. With this, you need the Impish Nature, that way you lower the special attack, and think about it. You use Power Punch twice, you're going to have 360 attack, and Gunk Shot is a 120 base power. So it's going to be really awesome. While the accuracy is low, it's kind of the strongest stab move you have, so you're going to be able to output a lot of damage. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can also go with Fire Punch. It's going to give you good coverage between the fire and fighting, and then rest and all that. With this, I was thinking Quick Claw is a very valid option, that because of leftovers and rest and stuff, it's kind of awkward if you're like, I don't know, leftovers is a very good option, but if you're looking for other item options, like you already have a Pokemon with leftovers, or you want to throw out a Quick Claw, it'd be really nice, because Quick Claw has a 20% chance to activate. That means you could stockpile and get defenses before your opponent, you can Power Up Punch and get attacks off before your opponent, you can score KOs as a faux sweepy Pokemon that's already tanky and has a lot of stats, and it can be really nice. So you are losing a bit of sustain or some kind of rest mechanics, but it's kind of, if you are anticipating to set up really effectively, this is much better, and it's going to give you a lot of really fast options that can do a lot of damage. And then I was thinking Apricot Berry. We rarely see this, but Swalot has the ability Gluttony, When it drops to half or less, it uses the certain berry. Well, apricot is one of those berries, and it's going to boost your special defense. That way we can put harder investment into the defenses, and then special defense is going to get boosted. It's also not going to be capped off by the stockpile, and then you can work it out from there. Now, this apricot berry set works with any of these sets as well. Now, I'm also showing a different move set for Curse Amnesia. Curse is going to let you boost your defense really well and then also get attack. So it's kind of like Power Punch and the defensive side of Stockpile giving you that also opportunity with Amnesia. Problem is now you only have one move to use, and it's going to be Ice Punch as well as having Rest. I like Ice Punch because while you can get walled out by a lot of types, it just makes it to where nothing is going to be immune. If you have Fire, you can get Flash Fired. If you have Gunk Shot, you can get Steel Walled. So I'm just looking for something that if I get set up, I'm at a +6, I'm just going to keep punching them and beating them down until something goes into my favor, or you can just kind of go with the Infestation since it's still an overtime kind of effect and you can get something working from there. Now, I was also looking into some really crazy ideas that with Gluttony, what happens if you go for Belch Patea Berry? That I was thinking, well, Patea Berry is going to proc, you're going to get a huge amount of special attack boost, and then Belch has a really high base power, but can only be used after Berry has been consumed. Look at that. So this could work really well as like just a bulky Pokemon. Eventually you'll take 1 or 2 hits, drop below half, get off a monstrous Belch, and it's going to be very strong. From there you can also carry Giga Drain, get your health back up after the Patea Berry if you have the opportunities. Also coverage, and it just works out really nice. Sludge Wave for if... Whoop, that's not how you spell Sludge Wave. Sludge Wave if it isn't, like if you don't have the opportunity to use Belch, and then you can put some kind of coverage move here. Or there's just a lot that you can do with this because you can go for... I'm trying to remember, like it gets Shadow Ball and any hidden power of your choice. Also Destiny Bond, that's it. Like you can maybe throw out a crazy Destiny Bond and get some usage out of it. It can do some weird things, but pretty much just go be like Belch into craziness or hidden power Fire. Since you are going to be immune by Steel type Pokemon, hidden power Fire would be a really nice thing to carry. And this is just weird. I was thinking you could use it in doubles. So if it's going to be doubles, this could maybe be Protect if you can't get a hold of Hidden Power Fire. And then you just have to set up Trick Room. In Trick Room, this could be hilarious. That they focus fire you down, they don't knock you out, and now you're belching and Sludge Waving your opponent into oblivion, because Sludge Wave hits everything on the field. So just be aware of your ally, but it can still be really nice to use. And then I was thinking, ultimate double support. Like, this is surprising. Swalot can be a crazy double support with all of this setup. That I was thinking Snatch, Destiny Bond, Infestation, Pain Split. This Pokemon is nasty. Can steal your opponent's stat boosts, which is amazing. You can also set up Infestation to lock your opponent in, Pain Split to start stealing away their health, and if you're running Trick Room, you can go for Destiny Bond. If not, you have a couple of other options, like you can just go for the Protect here. That way you're going to be getting health back. And, let's see, I saw a couple other really cool things. You can maybe even go for the Quick Claw Destiny Bond. That way you might just get lucky, Quick Claw into Destiny Bond, and your opponent, they're not going to expect that, and it's going to be just really upsetting for them. Also, Yawn. Like if we can get Yawn in here, Yawn will create a lot of dynamic that you can Infestation Yawn your opponent, that you can throw out a Yawn, infest the other Pokemon, Snatch where you see fit, and then Pain Split for sustain, and it can do a lot of absurd things that your opponent isn't going to expect. They open up and they're like, oh, I'm going to use a Dragon Dance, or I'm going to use a setup. Swalot all of a sudden snatches it, and then that means you just canceled out their move, you gained a bonus, and now your other Pokemon is setting up Trick Room, setting up damage, or doing something for themselves that can be really crazy. So it's kind of like this unpredictable set that can do a lot of really cool things. And if we just look at the other moves, abilities really quick, I think Sticky Hold is going to be the way to go. With Liquid Ooze, you resist Fairy, Draining Kiss, Drain Punch on fighting, and Giga Drain for grass. So there's really no point to have Liquid Ooze. Sticky Hold just keeps your item safe unless you're going for some kind of gluttony mechanic. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and that's how you use Swalot. I think it can be really strong, and has a lot of really cool things that it can do, and I hope you all have a nice day.